All right, so in this Helldivers 2 video, we're going to be comparing the gas strike versus the gas mines. This has been a video that I've been wanting to make for quite a while because both of these stratagems are very interesting in the way they operate within the game, but they do operate very similarly, which makes them interesting to compare which one is actually better. So anyways, we're going to be breaking down everything you need to know about both of these stratagems, which situations they thrive in, what their weaknesses are, how they perform against the various factions, and most importantly, we're going to be determining which one is better over the other. Anyways, let's talk about it. So going over the stats for the gas mines and the gas strike. So the gas strike is actually a offensive stratagem where the gas mines are a defensive stratagem, and both are going to deal caustic damage, meaning they're going to not only damage the enemies with the damage over time effect, but they are going to confuse the enemies, making them lose control. The call-in time for the gas mines are 7 seconds or 4 seconds with the ship upgrades. The call-in time for the gas strike is 4 seconds or 3 seconds with the ship upgrades. The cooldown for the gas mines are 120 seconds or 102 seconds with all the ship upgrades. The cooldown for the gas strike is 75 seconds or 64 seconds with all the ship upgrades. Both the gas mine and the gas strike deal 25 damage per second from their gas clouds, and they are AP6, which is anti-tank. The duration for the gas mines is broken down per mine, and that is 15 seconds per mine. For the gas strike, it is actually just one total cloud, which is 15 seconds in total duration. Both of these have the same effect of if an enemy is within the cloud, it's going to keep reapplying a gas effect every 2.7 seconds. When they leave the cloud, it's only going to be applied for whatever duration they have left, and it's going to wear off over time. The radius of the mines is indefinite depending on placement. These can go up to 10 to 20 meters, even further depending on elevation and other things. For the gas strike, it's actually going to be 15 meters for the initial thing. It's going to slowly expand out to 20 meters as it dissipates. The way the gas mines are delivered is via hell pod, so this is actually going to be able to destroy objectives and do some good damage there. And the way the gas strike is applied is an instant strike that has a demo force of 50, so it can also destroy objectives like fabricators and things of that nature. Going over the ship modules that currently affect both of these stratagems, the gas mines are affected by morale augmentation, which reduces the cooldown of all stratagems by 5%. Synthetic supplementation, which reduces the cooldown by 10%, and lastly rapid launch systems, which removes the deployment time of emplacement, so it's just going to come in a lot faster overall. Orbital gas strike has morale augmentation, which reduces all stratagems cooldowns by 5%, 0G breach loading, which orbital stratagems cooldown is reduced by 10%, and lastly targeting software upgrade, which reduces call-in time for orbitals by 1 second. So now that we understand all the basic stats and some of the general things in terms of ship modules and whatnot that affect both of these stratagems, now we're going to go over some in-game comparisons, comparing things like deployment, gas duration, and coverage to understand these a little bit better and how they operate when they are deployed onto the field. First thing we're going to talk about is deployment. So the gas mines are actually deployed via hell pod, so these are not really impacted by environmental things. Yes, if you are underneath a mountain, they're going to get caught by them, but most of the time they're going to be able to go through trees and other various situations, which is very nice. So once the hell pod from the gas mines hit the ground, it's going to take about 4 to 5 seconds for the gas mines to fully deploy. There's going to be a big cylinder that comes out of the ground and shoots out mines everywhere. This dispenser can get destroyed prior to it shooting out all of its mines or even any mines at all. So that's something you got to take in consideration when you're placing this thing. And when all the mines are out, they can be chain reaction destroyed. So that's going to be something else you can think of as well, because basically when one goes off, multiple are going to go off. So the way the gas strike actually deploys is a lot different. So it's going to instantly set off as soon as it hits the ground. It basically is an artillery shell shot out of your super destroyer, and it's going to be able to spread out a ton of gas very quickly. It's also dependent on your ship orientation. So if your ship is off to the far right, it's going to come in at an angle. If it's straight above you, you're going to come straight up and down. If you're in the mega cities, it's going to need to require relocation if you are in a weird position out of sight of your super destroyer. So that's a lot of the nuances when you are dealing with the gas strike, is that it is an instant thing, but it is very reliant on your ship's location. With that in mind, one thing to keep in consideration is this does get impacted by environmental situations like trees. So if you're on a forested planet, your gas strike can hit a tree or some sort of big thing in the way, and it's going to get stuck there, which is kind of annoying. It's also the same thing for like rocks or anything like that. So that's something else you got to keep in mind as well. So taking a look at gas duration next, talking about the mines first. So these operate quite a bit differently just because of the fact that it's 15 seconds per mine. So if mines are still in the field, they're going to be able to have opportunities to produce more gas clouds that last 15 seconds. If multiple of these go off at different varying times, they're going to create new 15-second gas clouds depending on each mine, which is pretty cool. The great thing about the gas mines that makes it so unique is that the duration is kind of unlimited as long as there's mines on the field that can be hit, because it can keep going off and setting off more. You can set off some yourself with grenades and various things like that. So it's kind of tricky to just say just 15 seconds, but that's basically the understanding is that it's just 15 seconds per mine. And for the gas strike, it's much more straightforward. It's literally just going to last 15 seconds the moment it deploys. So it's very similar, but again, it's only going to last a flat 15 seconds. Taking a deeper look at the cooldown, because I feel like that's the biggest differentiating factor of these two things, is that you're going to have the gas strike about 1.5 times more often than the gas mines, meaning that you're going to be able to call in the gas strike quite frequently. It's great for on-the-go movement if you want something very often, very quickly, whereas the gas mines are going to be much better in terms of coverage, but it's going to definitely take a little bit longer to come back. So if you are relying on that, between the fact that it does have a longer cooldown and between the fact that it does have a longer time to deploy, because it takes about 4 to 5 seconds to deploy and it's not even guaranteed it's going to fully deploy, that's going to be the biggest differentiating factor between how fast these things cool down and how readily available they are. So talking about coverage next, the gas mines are going to have a far significant more coverage than the gas strike, just because of the fact that these things can be dispersed out to 10 to 20 meters. This depends on elevation and all sorts of other things, so that's something to keep in mind. But the dispersion range of this gas mine is really long overall, and then each mine is going to be able to cover a 15-meter radius. Just like the gas strike, it's going to cover a 15-meter radius, which is very nice, and it will linger out to 20 meters as it's dissipating. So again, the coverage for the gas mines is quite extensive. You put a couple of these nearby, or if you just place it well enough, it's going to be able to cover a large amount of territory and give you plenty of opportunities to set off multiple mines within that territory. And as for the gas strike, it's definitely a lot more isolated in its coverage. It's only going to cover a 15-meter radius, lingering out to 20 meters. You're definitely going to have to use this in more tight quarters areas, or be very accurate with where you want to use this, because once it hits, it's only covering that area and that's it. It's not going to go much further out than that, and you're gonna have to wait till the next one comes in. Okay, so now that we've taken a look at some of the differences in game of both of these stratagems and how they operate, now let's take a look at how these things work against the factions. So I'm gonna give this kind of a wide brush because I don't want to repeat the same thing over and over again, and I'm just gonna kind of give a wide brush for how gas operates versus the factions first. So against the Terminids, gas itself is pretty much meta. If you've been playing the game long enough, you've seen everybody just praise the glory of gas things against the Terminids because it's just good. It confuses everything, including chargers. It confuses all the enemies. It does a ton of damage to them with the dot damage it does. Overall, the gas is very, very powerful versus the Terminids, so either one of these options are going to be very good versus them. For the Illuminate, it's a very similar story against the Voltless and the Flesh Mobs. Now, the Voltless are just going to be melted by this thing instantly pretty much because they have very little health. As for the Flesh Mobs, they can be confused by the gas if you catch them before they go into their little berserk or enrage mode. They can be confused, but in general, they are going to take a decent amount of damage over time. And then for the Overseers, it's kind of a mixed bag. Like most of the time, I feel like they get confused with the gas, but there's those rare times that they, especially the ones with the little melee weapons that are on the ground, it feels like that the moment they start swinging and kind of going crazy, they're not really affected by the gas. But in general, with the dot damage and the general confusion that it does cause, it's going to be very similar to the Terminids, where it's very powerful overall versus the Illuminate. And then lastly, versus the bots, I don't really love bringing gas against the bots in general. It does work. Like, it's very, very effective. It's going to confuse Hulks, it's going to confuse Berserkers, Devastators, whatever. It's going to do very, very well. The problem is the confusion operates a little bit differently with the bots because they're going to continue shooting. Most times it's fine, but there are times where they just start spinning around shooting, kill my teammates. I've been killed by a rocket devastator because he just starts spinning around and shooting rockets everywhere. Hulks just start shooting their flamethrower everywhere. It gets a little chaotic when you're using gas against the bots, and that's why I don't really like bringing it in, but it is very effective. Dot damage is good. Confusion works very well, so it will work if you want to bring it in, but be warned that they love to keep spinning around and doing their actions like shooting, which is kind of annoying. So really what it boils down to when you're considering which one to bring in versus the factions is, what do you care about more? Do you care more about coverage or do you care more about availability? So the gas mines are just absolutely fantastic for area denial, meaning that if you have an area you want to lock down, just throw the gas mines in, and anything that walks in that area is going to hit a mine and chain react a bunch of different mines. You can just preemptively do this by having other strikes like the napalm strike or something else hit the mines and set them off as well. So it's great for area denial and mass coverage of gas clouds. I particularly enjoy the gas mines on any type of mission where I have to hold a particular area. Specifically, if you want to use the example of the capture the flag missions, You know where the breaches are coming from on the bug side. You know where the drop ships and things are coming from on the illuminates and the bots. So you can preemptively throw out mines as these things are coming in and set out huge walls of gas, making these missions so much easier. It's just going to be great for any of these missions where you need to hold a particular area because it's going to have a wide coverage. You can preemptively figure out where you need to place the mines, which is great. In general, though, my favorite use case for the gas mines is when reinforcements are being called in. On the bug side, for example, if a breach is being called in, I'm going to try to get my gas mines ready to throw at the breach. It's going to make that situation so much easier. On the bots and the illuminate side, the moment I see a reinforcement being called in, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to throw this in and it's going to be able to confuse the hell out of these enemies as they're coming out of their dropship, causing tons of chaos. Overall, it is great for reinforcement situations, especially if you are good at picking out when to throw these things and kind of predicting where the enemies are going to be coming from. Whereas with the gas strike, it is just an incredible, quick solution thing, meaning that you need something to just go off and cause a bunch of pandemonium. The gas strike is going to be your choice. It's very, very powerful overall, and it's great for isolated attacks. So that's the biggest thing about it, is if you have an area like a patrol, or you have an area that you want to cover in like a city biome or whatnot, it's going to be able to cover that area very quickly and not be a problem at all. You're not going to have to wait for some deployment things or anything like that. Again, I particularly have been enjoying using the gas strike on these urban environments, the mega cities, or whether it be the regular ones, because if you're in alleyways, if you're in streets or anything like that, you can just preemptively throw this nearby or just in an alley or something like that if you see enemies coming in, or you can set a trap. The gas strike is also a great get out of jail free card. So if you're being chased by enemies, you just throw this at your feet or just right in front of you, and because the damage over time is not that crazy, it's gonna hit. You're gonna be able to heal through it and just run past it while enemies behind you are getting confused. This has saved my butt so many times against Predator and Gloom bugs. It's saved me so many times against really aggressive Illuminates. At times, if I catch it at the right time, it'll distract flesh mobs that are chasing me down. Overall, it's been very clutch for just getting out of bad situations overall. And again, as I mentioned a couple times before, the fact that the cooldown is 64 seconds with all the ship upgrades means you're gonna have this a lot. Before you even know, you're gonna have this back, be able to throw it at whatever situation you want. So that's very, very powerful overall. In terms of missions where I feel like the gas strike is the most powerful, is missions where you feel like you're gonna have to move a lot. Blitz missions, those new repel missions on the Illuminate side, or anything again that requires you to move and needs a quick solution. This can also double as something that could take out objectives as well very quickly, because it does have enough demo force to destroy fabricators, the warp ships, or even bug holes if you really want it to. It can actually take out the Bile Titan bug holes. So overall, it's just great for a quick solution that you don't feel bad about throwing because you're going to get it back very quickly, and it's great when you're on the move. It's great for isolated areas. Overall, the gas strike has a lot of good capabilities, just like the gas mines. So ultimately, this decision is very tough. It's not something that came easy to me because both of these offer such unique things that are very, very powerful overall. But since I have to, and this is part of the series, I have to crown a winner. And I'm going to give it to the gas mines right now. I feel like that, yes, while the instant solution and the fast cooldown of the gas strike is very good, and it's actually one of my favorite things in the game to use on a lot of different missions, the area coverage of the gas mines when they work is just unreal. You can cover a massive area depending on how you place these. These make so many of those defense type missions so much easier. If you're going to be doing any type of mission where you need to hold an area for a particular point in time, is very, very good. If you are dealing with a crazy breach situation, like you got breaches coming in, you got warp ships or anything like coming in, it's going to cover so much area and make those so much easier to handle. I just absolutely love the gas mine for that. But again, it really boils down to what you need. If you need an immediate solution, the gas strike is going to be absolutely fantastic. It's going to be back often. You're going to constantly have gas on the go all the time. Whereas if you are a little bit more pragmatic and you are a little bit more patient, the gas mines are going to be very good because the area coverage is so much larger. They're going to last longer overall because of the fact you have multiple mines going off. They're good to like wombo combo with things like fire things and whatnot. So overall, again, it really just boils down to what you need. But ultimately, that's the great thing about this game, is that you can actually run both. You don't have to choose if you don't want to, which is great. You can have the gas strike for an instant solution, have the gas mines for coverage and being able to do area denial. Very, very cool. But again, I'm going to get the gas mines the lead right now. Anyways, let me know what you guys think about this video down in the comments below. Let me know which one you think is better. And more importantly, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel for more content similar to this. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace.